So how exactly did an engineering student manage to hack millennial nostalgia and build an absolute digital empire? It's a pretty fascinating question. Honestly, if you spent any time at all scrolling online lately, you have probably seen his face. He's usually looking totally bewildered by modern tech or fondly remembering a much, much simpler time. But here's the thing. Beneath the surface of those super shareable, bite-sized comedy skits, there is a remarkably calculated strategy at play.
Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to guide you through this today. We are going to pop the hood on the Ramo Akh channel. We'll be looking at the raw data, the exact blueprints of his viral hits, and uncovering how he literally turns basic childhood memories into absolute digital gold. Get ready, because the genius behind this comedy is, well, it's pretty brilliant.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The rise of Ramo. 2. The nostalgia video blueprint. 3. Inside the tier list. And 4. Quotes, community, and impact. Let's get to it. Part 1. The rise of Ramo. We're going to start by zooming out and looking at the big picture. Before we even get into the jokes themselves, we really need to understand the sheer scale of the audience we're talking about here. 1 billion views. Yep, 1 billion. That is a massive milestone his channel hit by August of 2025. And this brilliantly illustrates that we aren't just looking at some creator who got lucky with a couple of viral hits. No, we are analyzing someone who has built a massive, totally consistent cultural footprint. He has absolutely cracked the algorithm. Just look at this timeline. It really shows how that growth just exploded. So he posts his first upload in November 2021. It took him, about a year and a half to hit 40,000 subscribers by May 2023, which is great. But look at the acceleration after that. By January 2024, he's at 300,000. And then by May 2025, boom, he crosses the 1 million subscriber mark. This timeline totally reflects a creator who is steadily refining his format, evolving from short-form to long-form content, and eventually hitting this explosive tipping point where his audience just skyrocketed. Now, I absolutely love this piece of trivia about him. Around the exact same time he hit that 1 million sub milestone in May 2025, Ramo Akh actually graduated with a bachelor's degree in industrial and systems engineering. Talk about a juxtaposition, right? On screen, he plays this goofy, kind of confused guy, but behind the camera, he's a creator with a highly analytical, systems-oriented background. Once you see how intensely structured his content is, that engineering mindset really makes sense.
All right, moving to section 2, the nostalgia video blueprint. So let's break down the actual anatomy of his most successful short-form videos. How are they engineered? Well, the core mechanic driving those massive view counts is the classic then versus now format. Visually and narratively, he just directly contrasts two different eras. Then is all about the simplicity of the 2000s and 2010s. Traditional, no-nonsense parents and super basic tech. Now is all about modern complexity. It's the 2020s tech anxiety, where parents are suddenly completely baffled by stuff like ChatGPT. That stark contrast, that's the engine running his entire comedy routine. Now, what's really interesting is how he takes these big, universal, generational experiences and buckets them into highly repeatable themes. For example, gaming. He'll compare the pure nostalgia of playing a Nintendo 3DS to the overwhelming, chaotic complexity of a modern PC setup. Or education, contrasting that eager high school motivation with the inevitable, crushing college slump. But media analysts generally agree that his absolute crown jewel is the parenting theme. Watching him portray a dad from 2005 trying to wrap his head around modern AI, it's a massive fan favorite because it just perfectly nails that modern technological divide. To really get a feel for how he scripts these things, listen to this quote from his computer expert skit. He says, "When I grow up, I'm going to buy a gaming PC and become an expert. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. I just play games." I mean, that brilliantly distills his whole vibe. He sets up this grand, nostalgic childhood dream and then instantly undercuts it with a hyper-relatable, almost disappointing adult reality. It's snappy, it's hilarious, and it practically forces you to share it with a friend. Which brings us to section 3, inside the tier list. Let's look at his longer formats. So as his audience grew, Ramo realized he needed to evolve beyond just 60-second skits. He pivoted to long-form content, and true to his engineering brain, he used a highly structured framework to keep people watching. Take his video ranking the most famous person from every country. Step 1, he sets up a familiar S to F tier ranking board.
Step 2, he evaluates the people based on completely subjective, kind of wild personal criteria. And step 3, which is honestly a genius retention hook, he promises that at the very end of the video, he'll spin a wheel. And whichever country it lands on, he literally has to recreate that person's viral moment. It gives you a reason to stick around for the entire thing. The charm here relies completely on his absurd comedic logic. Seriously, look at these rankings. He puts Jeff Bezos and the viral one-pound fish guy into the elite S tier, but global megastar Justin Bieber and literal genius Albert Einstein straight to F tier, no hesitation. It's this incredibly unpredictable, personality-driven logic that gets the audience engaged, arguing in the comments, and just staying invested in the video. Speaking of Einstein, why on earth did he get an F? Well, Ramo explains it like this. This guy drove me crazy in school because I took physics and it was one of the hardest classes. F tier. This is the perfect example of his trademark tangential rants. He's not grading Einstein on his contributions to human knowledge. He's punishing him for a personal grudge against a hard high school class. It completely subverts your expectations, and it's so funny. And he goes on these wild, unpredictable detours all the time. Like when ranking Palestine, he suddenly launches into a deep dive about reading DJ Khaled's book The Keys back when he was 13. Or while ranking Italy, he gets completely sidetracked scrolling through Giorgio Armani's website, just baffled by the concept of a $4,000 outfit. These aren't accidents, guys. These are calculated structural choices. By constantly shifting the focus, he makes sure the tier list format never, ever feels boring. Oh, and by the way, that wheel at the end of the video, it landed on Pakistan. So yes, he had to hilariously recreate the one-pound fish song. All right, our last stop today, section 4, quotes, community, and impact. Because, look, a truly successful digital empire isn't just about views. It's about creating an actual culture that lives off the screen. Ramo's content is specifically designed to be super quotable. Take this high-energy line. Mark Zuckerberg, bro, they're watching us. In the video, he shouts this while doing a spot-on imitation of the Windows USB connect and disconnect sounds. It's this brilliant piece of physical and audio comedy that instantly becomes an inside joke for millions of people. And his community totally leans into those inside jokes. If you look at the comment sections, it is a highly interactive loop. Fans constantly repeat his random catchphrases like, blue. They get into these huge, passionate debates about whether 2016 was literally the peak year of human existence. And anytime his brother shows up, like in a skit about a photo from 10 years ago, the comments flood with jokes about how they look like identical twins from different timelines. He's not just talking at his audience, he is actively hanging out with them. The impact is so big that media analysts even have a name for his specific style now. They call it nostalgia bait. It's defined as a digital content genre that actively blends that 2000s and 2010s nostalgia with modern 2020s tech anxiety. Now, obviously, Ramo Akh didn't invent the feeling of nostalgia, but by packaging it perfectly alongside our modern frustrations with AI and algorithm culture, he has completely mastered this highly lucrative genre. So the crucial point is, what happens when a blueprint works this well? It spawns an industry. By March 2026, things got so intense that Ramo had to make a video called YouTube Shorts is Full of Copycats. He addressed the crazy volume of smaller creators who were literally just copy-pasting his comedic timing and his exact then versus now tropes. It's frustrating, for sure, but it's also the ultimate compliment. It proves his engineering of this format is the absolute gold standard online right now. Which leaves us with a pretty massive question to think about. We've looked at the data, the engineering behind the jokes, and the huge cultural footprint. But looking forward, will this nostalgia bait genre outlast the era it actually pines for? Or is Ramo Akh's viral blueprint just the very beginning of a much larger shift in how we process our own memories through short-form media? It's definitely something to chew on as we watch this guy continue to build his empire. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope you found this teardown as fascinating as I did. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will catch you in the next one.